Of course, as soon as I turn my camera on, I yawn. Hey guys, my name is Richie, and welcome back to my channel, Gender Not Found. So I'm gonna do another couple chapters in this video. I'm gonna try and record 2 more videos tonight with 2 more chapters each. So let's get going. I want to try and be done I'd like to be done recording ideally by midnight so I can get at least a little bit of work done before I have to go to bed. And then I'm gonna do more recording tomorrow, and I'm gonna hopefully get more writing done tomorrow. But in the meantime, chapter 55, Unfortunate Reality. 1 year and 9 months. 1 year, 9 months. 5 months later, time skip over, so this is the last time we're gonna time skip until we start that again, I guess. I don't know, whatever. It had been an extremely busy day. Charlie had been sick, teething, and miserable. Jake had gotten a late-night shift job, and Lady couldn't take it anymore. Jackie was being a clingy, tantruming, teething, feverish mess. Her molars were coming in, and she was not a happy girl. So like any other tired, stressed mother... Oh my god. So like any other tired, stressed mother, Lady called on the family for backup. Ellen and Steve were setting up a charity function for the social work organization they'd previously worked for, so unfortunately they couldn't grab the little girl. But Fiona, on the other hand, was more than willing, especially since they would be passing their house, to bring Marshall to chemotherapy anyway. Stopping outside the apartment, Fiona ran in, grabbing the diaper bag packed with supplies, and grabbing Jackie while Lady walked out, pulling her car seat from their car and putting it into Marshall's. Thank you so much. They just keep getting each other sick, and this was the only thing I could think of to make it stop. They're both teething, and Charlie's sick and has an appointment, and Jackie has a little fever. There's medicine in the diaper bag, along with some numbing ointment for her gums. She has a whole bunch of clothes and pajamas and anything you need, okay? She asked, looking both concerned and relieved. We'll be able to handle everything. Besides, Mom and Dad will be back tonight. It'll be okay. We've got this. Okay, thanks again. Lady watched as Fiona buckled the little girl into the back seat. Bye, Jackie. You be good for Imo and Marshall. Lady said. Lady waved as they drove away, heading towards Mount Auburn Hospital, an hour away. Sorry if I'm completely butchering the Japanese words. I don't know any Japanese, and I don't know how to pronounce any of this stuff. So, the procedure went as usual. They hooked him up to the IV and left him waiting for the bag to empty. The wait, however, was anything but normal, because Fiona was chasing Jackie everywhere until eventually... hang on. The wait, however, was anything but normal because Fiona was chasing Jackie everywhere until eventually she grabbed the little girl, bringing her to the hospital playground, Marshall following after them, waiting in the hallway for them to return. It was times like this that Marshall truly hated the fact that he had this skin disease. He would love to play with Fiona and Jackie in the park, but with the sun out and the IV in his arm, it was impossible. Honestly, it made him think a lot seeing Fiona and Jackie together. He'd never bring it up to her, but Marshall could just tell that Fiona would be a great mother one day. When it came to children, Fiona was absolutely gifted. It just seemed to come so naturally to her. He always wondered about children. Marshall never really had the chance to be around them much. As an only child and having no cousins, being around babies really wasn't an option. He did wonder what it would be like, though, to have them. Would any children he had be like him? Would they have xeroderma pigmentosum too? And if they did, how would they get by in life? Would they be resourceful like him? What would they look like? With a shake of his head, Marshall cleared these thoughts. There was no chance of having kids now, especially since Fiona had only just turned 19 last month. They were too young to even be thinking about children. Ellen and his own mother would kill him for even thinking about the possibility of small little people who had his features, but still. Oh, you're just a silly girly girl, Fiona's voice said coming through the door as she put the little girl down. Marshall! Marshall! Marshall listened as the toddler babbled away, catching probably every other sixth word of her sentence, all while she beamed at him, making him grin. Decided it was pointless to even try and understand her baby babble. Marshall just played along. What? No way! Fiona did what? Fee, how could you? Now the blonde smirked. You can't prove a thing. Minutes later, a nurse returned to remove the IV, and within 10 minutes they were walking out of the hospital, Marshall waiting in the hall with Jake Jr., while Fiona went to get the car. The little one was running up and down the hallway, causing minimal havoc. Marshall only stepped in to prevent her from climbing into a potted plant, and while walking back to his spot with the little one in his arms. He sat tiredly on the bench in the hall. Closing his eyes, he leaned his head back, resting his eyes, still holding the child. Marshall sleepy? A little voice asked, making him smile. Yeah, Marshall's sleepy, he said, opening his eye to look at the little girl in his arms. Ooh, night-night, she said, laying her head on his chest, making pretend snoring sounds. Now Marshall laughed. You're not sleeping, you little faker, he said, tickling her sides and neck, watching as she squirmed, laughing hysterically. Huh? Oh, is that your daughter? She's beautiful, a nurse said, pausing in front of Marshall and Jackie, who now had stopped laughing. Huh? She's not mine, she's kind of my niece, he said, watching as the woman nodded. Aw, well, either way, she's a beautiful child, she said before walking down the hallway. Aw. You see that, you little giggle ball? They think you're cute, so use that to your advantage where you can. Her brown eyes stared curiously at him, and Marshall knew that she probably didn't understand half of what he told her. Marshall, eat, eat. You hungry? Car's ready. Glancing over, Marshall spotted the blonde walking in the car right out front, and picking up Jackie, he handed her to Fiona. She's hungry. Okay, I was thinking we could grab lunch anyway. I mean, it's almost 1 in the afternoon, so she's gonna need a change and a nap too. Alright, any place in particular you want to go to? He asked, getting into the car on the passenger side and shutting the door, watching as Fiona buckled in Jake Jr. I figured one of those little hole-in-the-wall restaurants we passed on the way here. They're, that or like the 99 a few miles away. Okay, if I fall asleep, just wake me up, 'cause I'm kinda hungry too, okay? Sure thing, Marsh. That's how the end of every chemo session went. Fiona drove them either home or to get some sort of snack, and Marshall almost always fell asleep on the ride back. Lunch was a long affair, and after feeding Jackie, giving her a quick change, and reapplying her teething gel for her new teeth, Fiona and Marshall left the restaurant with a full sleepy toddler, and many individuals telling the pair just how cute their daughter was. Fiona simply shrugged it off, wondering how a quarter black and Korean baby could be mistaken for theirs, but apparently it was indeed possible. Well, they don't know. Maybe they adopted. The ride home was quick, and by the time she'd arrived, both Jackie and Marshall were asleep in the car, and with a smile she shook her head and removed the toddler from her seat, carrying her into the house and laying her in the pack and play crib before returning with an umbrella for Marshall. Carefully she nudged him awake, watching as his eyes slowly opened before focusing on her. Good afternoon, madam, he said softly, making the blonde grin. Good evening, sir. It's about 4:30, so it's early evening. Prevening? What would you call this? She said, watching as he smoked, unbuckling his seatbelt and climbing from the car, leaning on the blonde for the briefest of moments before he was stable. Together they walked into the house, and after removing his sweatshirt, Marshall flopped on the couch and was out for the count. Hours had passed, and Fiona had continued to babysit Jake Jr. while her parents were over, Jake and Lady's place having finished the work at the function. Marshall had awoken and decided to take a shower, and Fiona found it odd that he'd been in there for so long. Growing concerned, she lifted the little one from the floor and rested the baby on her hip before she headed up the stairs, knocking on the door to the bathroom. Marsh, is everything okay? You've been in there for a while, she called softly, adjusting the baby on her hip. Is he sick? I'm having a bit of a hair issue, Marshall's voice said, coming through the door, sounding quite nervous. What kind of hair issue? Do you promise you won't freak out? Yes, she said, feeling confusion about what could possibly be wrong with his hair. Fiona, I'm serious. Yes, I promise I won't freak out. Now what's wrong with your hair? She asked, swapping Jackie from one side to the other. It's falling out. What? She asked in concern now. Like, I dried my hair with the towel and the towel turned black because there was so much hair. Can I come in? Is it okay to come in because I have Jackie with me? Yeah, it's fine, I have my pajamas on. Slowly, Fiona opened the door and watched as Marshall ran his fingers through his hair, the towel on the sink. Reaching out, her fingers brushed through his hair. It does feel thinner, Marsh. This sucks. See, look, hair snow, he said, motioning to the dusting of hair on the ground. Well, it's not really noticeable yet, Marshall, Fiona said, taking a step back as Jackie reached out to grab Marshall's hair. No, no, Missy, no hair pulling. You know better. Marshall hair. I know it's Marshall's hair. That's why you can't pull it, Fiona said, and now Marshall spoke up. You pull my hair and I'll pull yours, little girl, he said with a smirk as she giggled, though now he sighed. I hope I don't have to cut my hair. I finally got it just how I always wanted it, Marshall said with a groan. I mean, if I have to wear a hat, I will, but still. Marsh, Fiona asked softly, whether you're bald, wearing a hat, or you cut your hair, you'll be absolutely handsome to me all the same, she said softly, and hearing the honesty in her voice, Marshall smiled. Thanks, Fee. Love you. I love you too, he said, leaning over and giving her a quick kiss. Love you, Marshall. Now he laughed. Oh, I love you too, Junior. Grabbing his shirt, he put it on and followed Fiona down the stairs before grabbing a broom and heading back up the stairs. Fiona watched as he returned only a few minutes later before flopping on the couch, the two blondes having been playing on the floor. He'd gotten really tired after chemo, and like always it had exhausted him beyond belief. He'd been lying there listening to them play for what felt like forever when a little hand petted his cheek, making him blink his eyes open. Marshall, night-night. Hearing this, he let out an amused breath. Yeah, JJ, I'm going night-night. It's bedtime for Marshall, he said softly. Oh, I won't. Marshall go night-night. I know, Jackie. Marshall's very tired, and it's close to your bedtime too, Fiona said, picking up the little girl and reaching for the pajamas in the diaper bag. No. Yes, little miss. No night-night, please. Fiona tried hard not to laugh as she began changing her. Okay, but you have to sit with Auntie for a little bit, okay? Okay. Marshall watched as Fiona dressed the little girl in her pajamas, and he moved his feet as she walked over, carrying the toddler sitting on the couch. It took her all of 10 minutes to rock her to sleep as she hummed a little song, and after she was absolutely sure that she wouldn't wake up, she stood and placed her into the pack-and-play crib, covering her with a blanket. You're absolutely gifted with children, you know that, right? He said, watching as the blonde looked in over at him in surprise before smiling at him. Yeah, just these two, though, she said with a smirk. I'm glad that Charlie's with Jake and Lady, though. Together they're a handful, she said, flopping on Marshall. You're the baby whisperer, he said with a grin. When do Mom and Dad get back from that charity function? They're already done with it. Right now they're visiting Jake, Charlie, and Lady, so I'd say a few more hours or so. Okay, want to watch a movie? You know that we'll both fall asleep, right? Of course I do, but I'm in the mood for some alien predator action. Oh my glob, you've read my mind, Fiona said with a grin as she hurried down to the family room searching for and finally finding the movie. Marshall was sitting upright when Fiona returned, and he watched as she set the movie up, making it play quietly enough so it wouldn't wake the baby. The movie had begun playing, but the entire time it seemed more like just background noise, and Fiona couldn't focus on it. So, a lot of people thought Jackie was our baby. It was kind of weird, she said softly, watching as a baby alien began bursting out of a woman's chest as she began screaming in utter agony. It wasn't so much weird as it was unexpected. I mean, I didn't mind at all, and I absolutely adore JJ. But it made me wonder about just having kids in general, you know? Yeah, I do. I mean, one day everything's normal, and the next you have some alien creature growing inside you, and now Marshall cut her off, looking thoroughly amused. Are you comparing having children to an alien killing someone by bursting from their body? Kind of. I mean, it's the same thing, really. It's gotta come out somehow, the blonde said defensively as she blushed. You're too funny, Marshall said, shaking his head. I don't know about me having kids, though. I wouldn't want them to be stuck with this disease. My life with this is tough. I wouldn't want them to go through that. It's not fair to them. So, you don't ever want kids? I don't really know. Besides, we're really young and we have all the time in the world. I'll contemplate the remote possibility of children after I'm married for a few years. he said with a shrug, feeling as the blonde snuggled against him. That makes sense. I can't believe it's only 9:40. It feels so late right now. We've had a long day, Marsh. Yeah, we have. We've been quite busy today, said, turning to the phone on the side table as it started to buzz and play music. Quickly, he grabbed it, answering the call before it could wake Jackie, and they both watched as the baby whined slightly before settling back down. Relief wafted over the pair on the couch, and quietly Marshall began talking into the phone. Hello? Marsh, I've got some good news, kid. Hey, Billy, what's up? Carrie from Apocalyptica Records just called me. Oh, what's new with Apocalyptica? Most recent count for your guys' CD just came in. The total of sales so far are 50,000 copies. You beat Aberdeen's request by 10,000. For all your hard work, I'm gonna throw you all a party. Good job, Marsh. What? This immediately caught Fiona's attention as she stared at him intently. You're serious? Absolutely serious? It's actually more than that? After a few more very excited words, Marshall hung up, and the first thing he did was hug Fiona tightly and kiss her, taking the blonde's breath away. Whoa, so what happened? She asked, now feeling confused, but watching Marshall beam happily, she knew it couldn't be bad news. We did it. We met Aberdeen's quota and then some. We sold 50,000 copies of our CD fee. At this, it took the blonde everything she had not to screech in excitement, but instead she hugged Marshall back just as tightly. This is awesome. We did it. Oh my God, we did it, Marsh. Fiona said, laughing, still holding on to Marshall tightly as they fell off the couch. Though quickly at the sound of the whimpering baby, Marshall covered the blonde's mouth, shushing her as Fiona did the same to him. They watched as she rolled over, blinking her eyes open before falling back asleep with a yawn. Let's be really loud and excited tomorrow, okay? Marshall whispered as Fiona nodded beneath him. Okay, that sounds like a fantastic idea. We should throw a party, Fiona said, unable to stop grinning. Billy's gonna do that for us, and knowing Billy, it'll be awesome, Marshall said, smiling as they moved back on the couch, the blonde now lying on his chest comfortably. Marsh, I'm so flippin' happy for all of us right now. You don't even know. Oh, I know. I so get it. I don't think I can stop smiling, Fee. I don't think I'll sleep either. Let's tell the guys, the blonde said suddenly, watching as Marshall grabbed his phone. The rest of the night was spent telling everyone they could talk to the good news, and by the time Marshall and Fiona had fallen asleep, it was after 3 in the morning. They had finally done it. The ability to sign with Nightosphere Records was so close they could taste it. Now all that was left was to celebrate their accomplishment and celebrate they would. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm kind of worried because usually when there's a really, really exciting and happy ending for a chapter, it means something bad's right around the corner. Okay, well, that was it for the first chapter. I'm gonna go and record another one. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna take a short break, and then I'll be back in a few minutes to, record the next chapter, and then I'll put them both together, and it'll be a video. I love each and every, oh wait, I don't have to do that yet. It's not the end of the video. Hey guys, I'm back a few days later. Yeah, it's been a while. I think I recorded the last video like 4 or 5 days ago. I don't remember. I don't know. Either way, it's been a while. I'm still like settling in and figuring everything out and stuff. And so my scheduling is gonna be a little bit off for I don't know how long. I don't know. It could be like another couple weeks. It could be another couple months. It could be a few months. It could be like the rest of the year. I don't know. Like I just don't know when I'm gonna have a proper schedule again. Sorry, a noise caught my attention. Um, no, it's not for my mom. She's not coming over yet. Anyway, also, by the way, I just took care, before I read the chapter, I just took care of someone on Reddit in the most epic way possible. You know, sometimes you get those, like, sexualized, creepy messages from guys, and I told the guy to leave me the hell alone. Like, I straight up told him, fuck off, I don't want to talk to you, and he decided to stay and ask me another question. Like, he said bye, and then 2 seconds later, he sends me another message. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna fuck with him a little bit. So I started by sending him random pictures of, like, naked mole rats and poop, like actual poop in the toilet, and some other weird stuff. And then he was like, "You're weird," and I was like, "Yeah, you probably don't want to talk to me, right?" And he was like, "No, we can still talk." So then I ended up talking about unicorns, which actually I would love to talk to unicorns for real. But this wasn't like a real talk about unicorns. This was a pretending to be a little kid, like a 9-year-old, to get him to decide that this was enough for him and he didn't want to do this and leave the chat. He still hasn't blocked me, but I ended up being a 9-year-old and talking about unicorns and shit, and I didn't respond to like any of the texts he sent me. Like I would just talk more about unicorns or whatever subject I was talking about. Like he would send me like, a okay. And then when the 9-year-old stuff didn't work, when talking about unicorns didn't work, I ended up going a little more backwards and I started talking like a 4 or 5-year-old, like I was in like kindergarten or something. And I was like, I know my alphabet, and I started saying the alphabet, and I would send him each letter individually, like a second apart, like A, B, C, D. They were all separate messages. And then I was like, okay, you say the alphabet now. And then he just sent me a dick pic. So I said, no, silly, it goes A, B, C, and I started sending him every single letter individually again. And then I said, um, do you want to try again? And then he said no, and that was the last message I have seen from him so far. Like, I sent him a few other messages. Like, I asked him if he needed a tutor, and then I asked him if he was taking a potty break. Like, I actually used the word potty. I was like, are you on the potty? Is it a potty break? And then I was like, and then I just sent him a picture of a Yorkshire Terrier, and I was like, here, to make you smile, or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm just pretending to be this young, very young child. Like, I didn't actually straight up say, like, I'm only 17 or some shit like that. Like, I'm not, I don't want to pretend to be underage, but I wanted to mess with him a little bit. And I've decided that that's going to be my MO from now on. Like, if someone comes along and is like, hey, I'm going to send you sexual comments, I'm just going to fuck with you until you leave me the hell alone. I have sent him, like, probably 7 or 8 messages, and I have not heard back from him. The last message I sent him was the picture of the Yorkshire puppy, and then I sent him a message that says, to make you smile. Oh, and there was one part where I literally asked him, like right after I asked him if he was taking a potty break, I asked him if it was number 1 or number 2. I literally said that. Like, it's making me look like I'm a 5-year-old. So either he actually believes that I'm a 5-year-old, or he believes that I'm just like this kid, this adult that acts like a very young child or something, which I guess I kind of do in some ways. Like, if this was the way I actually acted, like if I was like, I know my alphabet and stuff, I probably wouldn't be living on my own. I can pretty much guarantee I wouldn't be living on my own. I do act like a child in some ways, but in some ways I'm also very mature, and I'm also like, I'm 28, I'm an adult, you guys know that, and I do have some adult mature stuff that I do like. I'm just mainly I think the whole stuffed animal thing is healing my inner child, and also because I just love doing it, and it's a way to, you know, I don't know. I think it's part of the healing process for me. Like, it's part of healing my trauma and my inner child. Not that I'm gonna stop doing it, when I'm completely healed, because I'm not just gonna stop playing with my stuffed animals and loving them the way that I do, but honestly, I could have brought that into play. And I think when I think maybe the next person that sends me some sexual comments, I think the next time I'm gonna go with the religious nut, and I'm gonna start talking about like Christ, putting my life on hold for Christ and shit like that, trying to like pretend like I'm one of those people who wants to turn him over to my religion and be like very aggressive about my religion, and that he should accept my religion, he should accept Christ as his Lord and Savior. I'm gonna start the conversation by saying, have you accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior? And this is only if I get a sexual comment. I'm not just gonna go to some random person and be really aggressive about my religion, because that's not who I am. But the next time I get like sexual messages, I'm gonna start that shit and I'm gonna start going all religious nut on them. And then I'm gonna be like, and then if that doesn't work and they keep asking about sex, I'm gonna be like, actually, I decided that I'm not gonna have sex because of my religion. So, like, I don't remember the fucking word, but the purity, the thing with the purity ring and, you don't have sex and stuff, like, no, I don't have sex and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna actually, if this guy returns, I might even say that to him. Literally, I have not heard from him, and usually he replies within a minute or two, and it's now been about 7 minutes. So I think I actually fucking scared him off. I think that no was the last time I'm gonna hear from him. I really hope so. He hasn't blocked me yet. I might send him another message or two. What I'm kind of waiting for actually is for him to say, I don't want to talk to you anymore, and then I'm gonna say, I thought you still wanted to talk to me. Isn't that why you were being so aggressive with your messages or something like that? Like, I said I didn't want to talk and you didn't respect me, or I don't know, some shit like that. I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, it was so nice out today that I've had my window open pretty much ever since I woke up. Actually, since like 10 o'clock last night, since like 9 p.m. last night, because it got down to about 18 degrees at at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I've actually had my window open for over 12 hours, and it's now like 4 p.m. I've had my window open for over 12 hours. So it was like really nice. It even got it to like 24 or 25 degrees, and I still really like it outside. And it was still really nice outside. It was still really nice outside. Um, so I just kept my window open, but then I decided I'm getting too warm. Hang on. Sorry, I had to take care of some comments on Reddit. I just posted a new update to my I'm the parent of of a bunch of stuffed animals series. I'm gonna probably do another part of that in a little bit. Like, not, I don't mean like a little bit like today, like maybe in a week or two. I don't know. I have all my videos planned out in a notebook, like I said, up till video, I think like 98 or something. Um, so I'm about to read the next chapter of A Guardian Angel. Wait, I have to get the internet. I'm gonna pause again. Okay, I'm back. It looks like kind of a long one, so this might take a while. It's 4 o'clock right now, and my mom said she would be here around 5:30 or 6. I don't know if that's gonna be enough time to edit the video and then render it in my editing program and then upload it, but we will see. We'll see what time it is when I'm done recording. I want to try and edit it because at least the editing is gonna be quick, and then I can just like leave it to, render well. We go and go grocery shopping and do all this stuff that we have to do because I gotta do errands. Anyway, so I'm gonna start reading. Still haven't gotten a message back from that guy. Sorry, hang on. Hang on. I'll pause. Okay, Chapter 56, Wrath of the Vampire King. Ooh, through the eyes of a predator. Wait, that doesn't sound too good. Author's note, this is a conjoined chapter. Pretty much they both contain the same events through drastically different viewpoints. I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to post first so I combine them. Everything that is italicized is one separate chapter, and everything in normal text is a separate chapter as well. But because the series of events in this double chapter is so quick, the two chapters can also be read as one with very minimal time regression. So if you want, read all the italics as a single chapter, read all the normal text as a single chapter, or read it together. Either way, it all flows together. Okay, we are going to read this entire thing then. He was a predator, plain and simple, and his prey were the beautiful women around him, those that never gave him a second glance, who never imagined they would fall victim to a person such as himself. This was not his first time committing such an act. He was more than prepared to play this game. She was beautiful with long blonde hair and sky blue eyes. She had the voice of an angel. Her name was rarely given during the concerts, but it was obvious that she was a part of the band Marshall Lee and the Screen Kings, because she was always with them, whether she'd been singing or not. She sang the duets with Marshall, but this time she truly caught his eye when she was singing on the stage by herself, the song she'd written for their album. He'd been on the hunt that evening and knew more than anything that he needed to have her. Immediately he began following the band, searching for the next concerts, to learn all their patterns, all through the course of a month. The band would play, the girl would sing, the set would end, and she would go sit at a bar with a drink, usually a soda, while all the boys mingled. At first he decided to see just how close he could get to the blonde beauty before being noticed. It was a success. No one ever saw him as suspicious when he sat down on the stool next to hers at the bar. Now the tricky part began. How close could he get to her drink? Over the course of the month, he had managed to drop liquid sugar in her drink without the blonde noticing on multiple occasions. Always her attention would be on the lead singer and guitarist, following him with her gaze. The trick was keeping his eyes on both the girl and the bartender. Walking from the bar after another recent success he began planning, because the next time they celebrated after their concert, he was going to make his move. It happened less than 2 weeks later. The band had announced their next concert on their website, and when the day arrived, he was prepared. He'd been experimenting with his batch of GHB. What a beautiful thing it was, and made everything go so much more smoothly. This time he made a special batch, this one just a bit weaker. A girl in a rock band was bound to put up a fight, and for her, he was up for the challenge. Their show went off without a hitch, and once again the blonde angel sang. He was excited because soon she would be his, and this time they said her name, Fiona, beautiful Fiona. However, this time there was no after party, no celebration of their performance. Instead, they were going to hold a party for the sale of their 50,000th CD sold. He could be patient for her, and he would wait for the opportune moment to strike. 3 weeks later, their site updated, posting the time, date, and location of the celebratory party. Seeing this, he smiled. It gave him just enough time to get the necessary items. I think I decided I'm going to break it in half. I'm going to stop it there. I know the chapter was only about 4 minutes long because my intro was about 10 minutes, but I really want to just stop there for multiple reasons. I may or may not record this later, or I might just record the next. I'm probably going to record the rest of it tomorrow. Wait, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Sunday. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to record the rest of it. Tomorrow I'm going to record the rest of this chapter, and I'm going to record the other couple of chapters. I'm still planning 2 chapters per video, but I'm also going to put the rest of this chapter in the next video, so it's going to be more like 3 chapters. Anyway, I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourselves. Be good to yourselves and to one another. You are valid, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye. And the next chapter is probably going to be up tomorrow, and I also have some other fanfiction readings coming out soon. They're going to be one-shots, actually. I have a couple of one-shots planned, so get ready for that. I'm not, like, when I say the next chapter is going to be up tomorrow, I mean, like, the next video, and I meant the next video. The next video is going to be up tomorrow, probably, unless you're seeing this on Sunday, then it might be up same day. I'm planning to upload this today. So it's going to be uploaded, and then my next video is going to be tomorrow because I'm not doing anything tomorrow. So I'm going to record another video, and then I'm going to record some videos tomorrow, and then I'm going to post some stuff tomorrow. And so I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. Be good to yourselves and to each other. You are valid, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye. I think that's my entire outro.